Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is preparing to present a comprehensive victory plan to Ukraine's allies at an upcoming summit in Ramstein in Germany this weekend. Now, with winter approaching, the potential reduction in U.S. support and the ongoing debate within NATO about Ukraine's use of advanced arms, the stakes are high for Kyiv and its partners. And joining me now to discuss this and more is Yevheniia Kravchuk, Deputy Chair of the Ukrainian Committee on Humanitarian and Information Policy.
Good evening.
Good evening, Ms. Yevheniia. Thank you so much for being with us here on World News Tonight on TVP World.
Thank you for having me.
So, I mean, a lot has been going on. That we have quite a few topics to tackle, but let's take it first from the latest words coming out of Kamala Harris in her recent interview. Now, Kamala Harris said that if she would become the next president of the United States, that she would not meet with Russia's president, Vladimir Putin, to negotiate an end to the war in Ukraine unless, of course, Kyiv was involved. Now, on the other hand, Donald Trump said that he would be able to end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. What is your reaction to this?
Well, first of all, I would, not comment the electoral process and how these statements are, used in the process of presidential elections. What I can say that so far the official position of Department of State is the same, that Ukraine has to be involved in any negotiations if they happen or when they happen. And it's actually the position of all the allies, those, by the way, who will be meeting in Ramstein just this week in Germany. So it cannot be decided without the country who was attacked. Regarding Donald Trump, President Zelensky already said that he doesn't really understand how it could be ended in 24 hours. So it has to be explained further. But in any case, it's very good that Zelensky, when he went to United States, he met both President Biden, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and they had a conversation after which they gave a press conference together, and overall the communication went well.
Yevheniia, tell me, so the latest news that we have coming out of Washington earlier today is that U.S. President Joe Biden has not canceled. However, he has postponed his trip to Ramstein. Now, what do we know on whether Ukrainian President Zelensky will in fact attend this summit? Is it still going to go forward? What can you tell us about this?
Well, the summit, of course, will happen. I cannot disclose the plans of President Zelensky. Of course, these meetings, they do come regularly. And it's quite understandable, this announcement of postponing of Biden's visit, because indeed the situation with the hurricane in Florida is very serious, and it has to be explored more in coming days how it goes. And it's, if you would turn on any of the news on American TV channels, they all speak about this issue, about hurricane, about domestic things. But of course, we want this meeting in Ramstein to be resultive, especially before the very difficult winter. Though we are very thankful that United States issued the package of aid not long ago on the 26th of September, and it contains, it's worth $7.9 billion. So there is some, planning for the aid for Ukraine.
Can you just go a little bit into more details about what would you say that Ukraine expects from the outcome of this summit to be held in Ramstein on the weekend?
Well, of course, on the one hand, we need to have, planning on receiving weapons, receiving artillery shells. For example, this initiative that President of Czech Republic started now is fulfilled on 1/3. Of course, it has to be finished. Another thing that will be discussed, I believe, that actually the investments could come to the military production of Ukraine, because right now we developed our own productions of drones, of even jamming machines, but also marine drones. We even started to produce our own 155 artillery that suits all of the artillery systems that we got from Western partners. But we do not have enough of our own money to buy out all these weapons. So basically, if countries, for example, Denmark already did that, would buy the weapons directly from the producers in Ukraine, it would be much cheaper and actually will be faster deployed to the battlefield. And of course, the NATO or some other security guarantees should be discussed. And of course, for us, membership in NATO is the ultimate goal. But we need to understand what are the security guarantees of Ukraine, so we would not run into another, bloody war in 10 or 20 years, because Russia is not going anywhere.
Yevheniia, do you think that Ukraine may be offered more concrete steps regarding NATO membership?
Well, I totally think that NATO will need at one point Ukraine, because we will have the most trained army, at least in the European continent, and we will be this eastern frontier. Of course, it has to be a consensus of all the members of NATO, and of course, the position of United States is somewhat crucial, because they are the biggest contributors, biggest donors to the NATO budget. But we had a very promising and symbolical visit of Mark Rutte. He was just in Kiev a few days ago. It was his first visit in the capacity of new Secretary General of NATO. And he was quite firm that at the end of the day, sooner or later, better sooner, Ukraine will be or has to be a member of the alliance.
Let me shift you a little bit to the latest sanctions on Russia that mainly the UK has said it has imposed. Do you think that these sanctions, that these measures have a significant impact on Russia to be able to continue its war, to continue targeting Ukrainian civilians and infrastructure inside Ukraine?
Well, I did not follow closely the concrete sanctions that Great Britain imposed, but overall, I would say that sanctions do work. Of course, there are loopholes, but if sanctions didn't work, the Gazprom would not be in debt for the second year in a row, and it's just dropping the revenue that they get, and also Russia would not be trying so hard to lift the sanctions. Even the sanctions on diamonds had influenced quite a lot. What we also see that still there are loopholes in transferring electronics, microchips from different countries, United States, Great Britain, Switzerland, Germany, to Russia through third countries, because we find Western microchips and parts, especially electronics, in drones and both missiles. For example, the missile that hit Ohmydyt, the children's hospital, in July, contained the parts that were made in Western countries, and this missile was produced in April this year, so pretty fresh.
Thank you so much, Yevheniia Kravchuk, for all your input today on such an important topic, and definitely developing on what will come out of that meeting in Ramstein over the weekend. Thank you so much, Yevheniia Kravchuk, Deputy Chair of the Ukrainian Committee on Humanitarian and Information Policy.